What's up, YouTube? I'm here to do my prediction video for UFC Fight Night Souza versus Hermansson. Let's start at the bottom. The first fight is Court McGee versus Diego Lima. And to me, I just feel like Court McGee's better everywhere in this fight. I think Diego, he's a decent striker with decent jiu-jitsu, but I think Court McGee, his overall boxing game is probably about the same as Diego's, but I think his wrestling is way better than Diego's, and I think his conditioning is better. To me, I feel like Diego, his striking's definitely gotten better, but I just don't think he's going to be able to stop Court from pressuring him against the fence and just grinding him out. I think Court's either going to get a unanimous decision or get a late TKO. Next, we got Angela Hill versus Jody Escobar, and I think these are just two strikers, but I think Angela Hill's just a much better striker. I don't think this fight's going to hit the ground. I just think Angela Hill's just going to outstrike her for 3 rounds, so that's what I got, Angela Hill. Next is Jim Miller versus Jason Gonzalez. This fight's tough because both these guys fight exactly the same way. They're both like striker jiu-jitsu dudes. Jason Gonzalez, I think, is a really fast starter, but I think he tends to slow. I also think he fights very wild and leaves him open for counters and shit like that. This one's really tough. I think it's just kind of whoever gets off first is probably going to win. Like whoever lands that first big shot or gets that big takedown and goes for the submission. Jim Miller, it's tough to tell because some fights he looks great, some fights he doesn't. I'm hoping he does look good. I think this will be a firefight. I don't think Jason's going to try to take him down right away. I think they're going to be swinging in the middle, and I think Jim's going to land first. And I think once he gets to the ground, I think Jim's going to win with a rear naked choke. But like I said, I think it's just whoever lands first or goes for that first big takedown is probably going to win this one. So this one's really tough, but like I said, I'm leaning towards Jim. Next, we got Gilbert Burns versus Mike Davis. And Mike Davis is a good boxer, but I don't think he's the greatest grappler. I think that we saw in that Dana White Tuesday Night Contender series that even though he is a good striker, he's still kind of green. He hasn't fought a whole lot of amazing people. And I just think Gilbert Burns has beaten a ton of great people. I think that, like I said, in the striking, I think it's about even. I think Mike is just a little bit faster, but on the ground, I think Gilbert's like 10 times better. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think sooner or later, Gilbert's going to drag this to the ground and just win with like a rear naked choke. And it's probably going to be the first or second round. So I got Gilbert win by submission. Next is Carla Esparza versus Venera. I can't say this chick's last name. And Venera's a really good jiu-jitsu chick, but that's about it. I don't think she's going to be able to catch Carla. I think Carla's too good on the feet and with her wrestling. I think Carla's going to be able to push this chick against the fence and just take her down and beat her up for 3 rounds. Like I said, I think Venera, maybe she can catch her in a submission. I just really don't think so, though. I really feel like Carla's submission defense and overall wrestling is going to be too much. And I think she just grinds out at least a 29-28 decision, so I got Carla. Next, we got Andre Arlovski versus Augusto Mendez, and I feel like this is going to be like Andre Arlovski's last couple of fights. I think it's going to be this very slow striking fight that could probably go either way by the end. It's just going to barely edge towards one guy or the other. I think that Augusto Sakai is a really good up-and-comer, but he does tend to kind of fall into these slow striking matches a lot of the time. And, I just see that happening. I think that these guys are just going to have a slow striking match. I don't think either of them are going to catch, maybe one of them catches the other guy, but I just don't see it. I think that it's going to be super close split decision. I'm slightly leaning towards Andre, but like I said, I feel like this could go either way. Next is Ben Saunders versus Takashi Sato, and to me, Takashi's just really on the upswing right now. I think that, he's like 14 or 15-2 with only like 3 decision wins. The rest are knockouts. I feel like he's only lost to like one really good dude and one okay dude in the beginning of his career. I feel like Ben Saunders, though, he's gone like 1-5 in his last 6. He hasn't looked super impressive. I feel like if Ben could get this to the ground, he could potentially submit Takashi, but I just don't see it. I think Takashi keeps it on the feet and eventually catches Ben and wins by knockout. Next, we got Roosevelt Roberts versus Thomas Griffin, and Thomas Griffin, to me, like, he has decent jiu-jitsu. And I mean, you never know. When you get guys with really good jiu-jitsu, he could potentially catch Roberts in a submission, but I just don't think this fight hits the ground. I think Roberts' striking is going to be way better. I think he's going to be able to push Thomas against the fence and just get a standing guillotine like he did in his last fight. I think he should be a huge favorite in this fight. I don't know what the odds are, but I'd be shocked if Roosevelt wasn't the biggest favorite on this whole card. I feel like Thomas is just an okay fighter going up against a really, really high prospect. And like I said, I think Roosevelt just outstrikes him, pushes him against the fence, and gets a standing guillotine probably in the first round. Next, we got John Lineker versus Corey Sandhagen. And Corey Sandhagen looks like a really solid up-and-comer, but I just don't know if he can handle John Lineker's firepower. I think that, Yuri Alcantara was able to kind of outstrike him on the feet, and I feel like if Yuri just followed up with punches, he probably would have knocked him out. I feel like John Lineker is just as good of a striker as Yuri, but he can throw a higher volume. And he's not going to go for submissions like Yuri did. I think he's just going to continue pressing forward and trying to knock him out. And I think this is going to happen. I think this is going to be a fun back and forth striking fight until Lineker starts to really catch Corey. I don't think Corey's got the wrestling to take down Lineker either, even though he probably has a small advantage on the ground. But like I said, I think Lineker just presses forward, beats up Corey, and eventually catches him with a big shot and wins by knockout. Next we get Glover Teixeira versus Ion Cutelaba, and I don't know who the favorite is in this one, but I think it's Ion, which makes no sense to me because we've seen in the past he's decent at getting back to his feet, but if you can flag him out on his back, he's not that great at getting back up. And I feel like Glover's got the type of wrestling where he can easily put this dude on his back and put him in an arm triangle, just like Misha Korshkov did. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think this will be a boxing fight for like the first minute. I think Glover will get a big takedown in the middle of the octagon, slowly climb him out, and then just either finish him with TKO from strikes on the top or get an arm triangle. I feel like, Glover should be the favorite in this one, but I don't think he is. And yeah, I mean, Glover lost to his only loss to really good wrestlers. If you look at any other guy he's fought, guys that can't just hold him down usually lose, and that's what I think is going to happen. I feel like Glover's just going to get the takedown in the middle of the octagon and just finish him with the ground and pounder arm triangle. Next is Alex Oliveira versus Mike Perry. And Alex Oliveira should be able to win this fight easy. It's just depending on how he fights. He tends to be a little bit wild at times, and that could favor Mike Perry because he's good at getting into wild brawls. But on the ground, I think Oliveira's at least a couple levels higher than Perry. I think that if he's smart, he'll strike with Perry a little bit, take him down, take his back and win by rear naked choke. I think he should be able to do it. I think Perry is decent on the ground, but I think Alex Oliveira is definitely at least a step or two ahead of him. And I think he will. Alex fights smart when he needs to, like when he fought Tim Means and shit like that. And I think this is going to be exactly like when he fought Tim Means. I think the striking will be back and forth. I think Alex will eventually take Mike Perry down, take his back and win by rear naked choke. Next we got Greg Hardy versus Dimitri. I can't say his last name. And even though Dimitri's 0-2 in the UFC, he was 8-0 coming in. And he has a good mix of striking and grappling. He just fades really bad because he's so big. He's super ripped. But it's like Greg Hardy, he's 3-1, and we saw in his last fight, he was gassing pretty hard, and his takedown defense isn't that amazing. I feel like this is a weird fight because it's like they're giving him an 0-2 dude, but it's not like this dude's a scrub. I feel like if Greg Hardy doesn't catch Dimitri right off the bat, I think Dimitri will take him down and just finish him with ground and pound or a submission from the top. I feel like we saw Greg Hardy's not the greatest off of his back, and his submission / takedown defense isn't that amazing. This is what I see happening. I think if Greg Hardy doesn't knock him out in the first 30 seconds, Dimitri's going to win, and that's what I'm leaning towards. I think Dimitri catches Greg Hardy coming in and takes him down and just finishes him with ground and pound in the first round. Finally, we got Jacare Souza versus Jack Hermansson, and to me, Jack is a good fighter, but I feel like when he's on his back, he's not that amazing, and he fights very wild. He kind of makes up for it with explosiveness and shit, but that's not going to work against Jacare. I feel like if he comes at him like how he's been coming at dudes in his last couple of fights, which I really think he will, I think Jacare is going to time him, take him down, and even if Jack somehow manages to end up on top, it's not going to matter because Jacare anywhere on the ground is better than Jack. This is what I see happening. I think Jack is going to go at him crazy. Jacare is going to get it to the ground somehow, and then once it's on the ground, I think Jacare catches him in a submission in the first round. Whether he's on top or on bottom, I just think he's way better, and I just don't see any way this fight doesn't hit the ground in the first round, whether Jacare takes him down or Jack, just goes wild on him and tries to catch him in a guillotine or something. But yeah, I got Jacare winning by first round submission. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.